Good afternoon, Basingstoke. Blimey, there are a lot of you, goodness me. But look, quickly, before we start, 3 quick questions to check in with you. Who here is making pots of money in their business right now? Come on, hands up. Inevitably, people on the mastermind table, of course, I would expect no less. Okay, who here is planning to make pots of money in their business? Excellent. Now, what else would I expect from the entrepreneur circle? And just checking in, who here feels they've long since forgotten that the purpose of running their business was, in fact, to make pots of money? Okay, so you don't have to own up to that one here. Look, as well as being business growth advisor for South Surrey, Sutton and Epsom. Can we give us a wave, gang? There they all are, and there's a few just down here as well. I also have run my marketing consultancy business, C Project, for the last 25 years. So I've most definitely been there, seen it, done it, and I've got the T-shirt. In fact, I've most definitely earned my stripes because I have survived not just one, but 2 recessions. Yes, get me, eh? Now, when I entered the Business Speaker of the Year competition, they said I had to find an inspiring business message for our times, but it had to take less than 7 minutes. Now, you may have spotted I do tend to speak quite quickly, a bit like Nigel, but even I thought I was going to struggle fitting in everything I wanted to say into just 7 minutes. So I decided to keep it simple. I decided to tell a story about something that happened to me when I first started in business. So I need to take you back to 1988. For those that remember, Yaz and her plastic population were at the top of their charts with their single, The Only Way Is Up. Who remembers that? Well, unfortunately, also on the way up were mortgage interest rates. From just 7.5% when I left my job in May to start the business, to more than 15% less than 6 months later. Think about that compared to now. However, on the way down was the economy. And it was the start of what was to become the recession of the 1990s. Business was incredibly hard to get. And in 6 months, I'd achieved no sustainable clients whatsoever. The phone simply was not ringing. And as mortgage rates continued to rise, all I could think of night after sleepless night was that we were going to lose everything and it would all be my fault. I was at a really, really low ebb. So in order to keep myself sane, I decided to do a play. Well, actually, it was a comedy with my local theatre group, and I did it along with a friend of mine, Keith. Where is Keith? He's here today. Give us, here he is, Keith. You didn't know I was going to tell this story, did you? We didn't come on, either of us, until halfway through the 3rd act. So you can imagine we had plenty of time to talk at rehearsals. Now, Keith's a business owner. He runs a video company. And he's about 18 months ahead of me in his business journey. And he knew I was in a very bad place. And one night at rehearsal, he said to me, he had something he wanted to share with me. Something really important that he had learned. And what he said to me was, Vanessa, the best thing, absolutely the best thing about running your own business is there is no one but no one to tell you what to do. However, he said, the worst thing, absolutely the worst thing about running your own business is there's no one but no one to tell you what to do. So if you think someone's going to come along and tell you what you need to sort your business out, you're deluding yourself. You have all the answers you need. You need to look inside yourself. Now, I don't know what changed that night, but I do know when I woke up the next morning, I was rocket-fueled. It was like someone had shoved a firework up my backside, forgive the crudeness. I was absolutely bouncing. So what to do with all this new energy? I jumped out of bed. I was absolutely up for it. And I decided to go to a little business exhibition over in Farnborough, in fact, somewhere I'd been avoiding going along to. And I thought, come on, today's the day. I jumped in the car, drove over there, parked, burst through the doors, and there it was, right in front of me, the very first exhibitor that I saw. And they were selling industrial vacuum cleaners. And all I could think of is, how am I ever going to have a conversation with people who sell industrial vacuum cleaners? I don't have any possibility that I'm ever going to buy the thing that they're selling. And I looked around this exhibition, and all I could think was, this looked incredibly intimidating. So I said, come on, Vanessa, you can do better than that. So I gave myself a good talking to. I thought, I know what, I'm going to talk to exhibitors where they're selling something I could realistically buy. That's going to make it a lot easier for me to have conversations with them. So off I went, I buzzed up and down, had a few chats with people. And I turned one corner, and I was faced with a little company, an audio-visual hire company. An audio-visual hire company. They did things like overhead projectors. Do you remember the days of acetates? Who remembers acetates? Yeah, showing our age, aren't we? And big screens, all those sorts of things they hired out. And I thought to myself, well, that's fantastic. That's exactly the kind of thing clients of mine may well want to hire if they're going to run an event. So I said to him, oh, that's brilliant. Perhaps you could give me one of your brochures, because I could give it to my clients. And he said, well, unfortunately, we don't have any brochures. I'm the newly appointed marketing manager. It's on my to-do list. But as yet, I've not put them together. So as we stand today, all I can give you is my business card. I thought, well, it's your lucky day. I said, well, that's exactly what I do. I could help you create your brochures. He said, well, that's fantastic. I'm here till the end of the week, but come and see me the beginning of next week, and we'll get something sorted. So I headed off there first thing the following Monday, and we had a great meeting. We agreed all sorts of stuff. We had it was like a 6-page fold-out brochure, leaflets for all the different inserts and so forth. And we did their logo and so forth, advertising. It was worth a lot of money to me, and I was as pleased as punch, as I'm sure you can imagine. So I drove back that day, walked up the stairs into my office, and the unusually silent phone was ringing. So I picked up the phone, and it was this same guy, the marketing manager. And he said to me, well, you know, something really funny happened when you left my office this morning. I got a phone call from a guy, a little business just north of here, and he said, we're having lots of problems with our publicity. I wonder, could you help us? He said, well, I don't know where you got that idea from, because we hire out audio-visual equipment. But I know just the lady you need to speak to. So from that one single decision to go to that exhibition that day, I achieved 2 very substantial clients. And frankly, it gave us the 6 months grace financially that we desperately needed. So on the one hand, absolutely nothing changed that day. But on the other hand, everything changed. Everything changed inside me. It was a day I decided I needed to take responsibility for the outcomes in my business. So my message today to you is simple. You need to focus on the one thing in your business that you can control, and that's you. When I did that talk for the UK Business Speaker of the Year, as I said, less than 7 minutes. Now, I think business speaking is a fantastic marketing pillar. It's not one that we focus on a great deal in the entrepreneur circle. I've just spoken to you for 7 minutes. Everybody in this room here could talk for 10 minutes. You all go to networking meetings. You can tell a story about yourself for 10 minutes. And I'm just going to show you. Can we pop it on the screen for us, Phil? I put together a little ebook for you. If you're interested in my ebook, there's all sorts of stuff I'll show you about how to get a really compelling message, how to do storytelling in your business. And in order to get hold of my ebook, all you need to do is to text. It's free. Just text 60777, and you need to put 3 things in there. You need to put the word ebook, because that's how it comes to me. Put your first name and your email address. And just as it shows there, put ebook steve@yourco.co.uk, and you'll get it downloaded to you. Thank you very much for your time. I hope that's taken less than the 7 minutes 44 that I threatened. Thank you very much. Have a brilliant rest of the afternoon, everybody. Thank you.